Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Chris. Chris is from Los Angeles in California in the USA. So let's see what Chris has to say. Enjoy the interview.
All right.
Yeah, perfect. So hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm great, man. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
So tell me where you're from.
I'm from Los Angeles, California, but I currently live just outside of Los Angeles, California, in Riverside.
Okay. So Riverside is like a city close to Los Angeles?
Yeah, it's just the next county over, Riverside County from Los Angeles County.
I see. And Los Angeles is the place where you were born and raised?
Yes, I
Wow.
was.
So tell me how was growing up in Los Angeles?
You know, growing up in Los Angeles was a trip. But I love Los Angeles, and it's got a bad rap, unfortunately. But growing up in Los Angeles was a lot of fun, and I grew up in Los Angeles during the late '90s, early 2000s. So there was a lot of exciting stuff going on, but yeah, it was great. I loved it.
And what's the best part of living in Los Angeles, in your opinion?
Oh, it's got to be the sunshine. The weather is always beautiful. It's always great. You know, but there are a lot of good things to living in Southern California. But the weather's my favorite. Yeah.
And why the move from Los Angeles to Riverside?
Well, I just got married last year, and
wow.
My husband, his job was here in Riverside, so we're here for now. Although we're moving soon, but yeah, so we've been here about 4 or 5 years together, and we want to move back closer to LA. So it's a little too suburbia for us.
I see. And what do you do for work, Chris?
I'm a physical therapist, and work in a clinic, but during the day. But on the weekends and my side hustle, I'm also a massage therapist, and I work out of my house, and it's a lot of fun. It keeps me busy for sure.
Wow. And you work like as a freelance. You work in a clinic, and also do massage as well. Massage therapist.
Yeah, the massage is all freelance stuff that I advertise for myself, and I do everything. My husband actually and I do everything ourselves, but it's a good little side hustle, you know.
I see. Very good. Right. So before we start our journey, William the Magic Box, would you like to tell me something interesting about yourself?
Something interesting about myself. Oh gosh, something interesting about myself. I graduated high school before I was even old enough to have a driver's license because I skipped 2nd grade and 7th grade. And that was really tough being so young in high school, but that's something interesting about myself, yeah.
For sure. And how come did it happen?
Well, I was taking, next level courses when I was in 6th grade. I was taking 7th grade math classes, and it was just something that my parents thought would be good for me.
Good. Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Absolutely.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend. Okay, full of fun questions. I'm just going to play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Let's do it. Okay, Chris, during the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay.
First question for you is, what is something you always want to do, but you're scared of?
Oh, gosh, that would have to be skydiving. I've always wanted to go skydiving, but it terrifies me, and it's on my bucket list, but I don't know if I'll ever do it. I really don't know.
Do you think one day you're going to be brave and do it?
I don't know. You know, I'm riding the fence on that one. I hope so, because it looks fun, but I don't know. We'll see.
I'm the same as well, actually. I would like to do one day, but I'm not ready yet. I think, I need to have the courage. I think when I put myself in the situation, imagine you are up there and you're ready to jump. I think I would get, I don't know. I think I wouldn't be able to do it, but it would be too late if I would be up there.
It's intense. Yeah. Heights are scary. But yeah, We'll see.
I know. When I see the videos, I'm like, my goodness, I'm sure the experience must be amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
But for you to get there, it's a long process. Let's say.
It is, yeah. So hopefully I can make that happen.
For sure. Let's see between us who's gonna do first. Okay. Let's keep in touch and see who's gonna go first.
That's funny. I bet you it'll be you.
Why do you say that?
Oh man, I'm really riding the fence with it. So I really would love to do it, but it's just so scary. Sometimes I even will dream about it, and I wake up kind of like an anxiety, panic, like just, thinking about jumping. It scares the hell out of me, and maybe that's why I want to do it. But yeah, it's pretty scary.
I never had a dream doing it, but yeah, I'm still scared as well. Next question. Let's do it, Chris. Okay, Chris from LA. Next question is, when was the last time that you cried and why?
Oh man, actually it was yesterday. It was yesterday, and it was because I had a really intense conversation with my husband, and it brought up some old feelings. And yeah, it wasn't a sobbing thing, but it was definitely it was a good heartfelt cry, and actually I felt better afterwards. So it wasn't a horrible cry, but yeah, it was yesterday.
And you're a kind of person that cry easily, like depends the situation, like watching a movie, or you kind of it depends.
I'm a little emotional, yeah. I can be a little emotional. And crying isn't something that I'm ashamed of doing, and I don't shy away from it. So yeah, I'm not afraid to cry at all.
I see, very good. I think when you cry, you just feel more relaxed afterwards. You feel more free.
Right. It's a normal human emotion, and it's processing, and I think that it's healthy, and I try to embrace it.
Absolutely. Okay. Next one. Chris, before the next question, tell me what you like the most about your job. What's the most, let's say, joy part of it?
Oh, my absolute favorite part is being able to wear scrubs to work and not having to dress up. That is my favorite part of it. But I also love to help. I love to feel that I'm doing something helpful every day instead of just gaining, my personal gain. Yeah, it's definitely motivation.
Next question for you is, what's your favorite holiday season of the year?
Favorite holiday season is definitely autumn and Halloween, and my birthday's in November, and so Thanksgiving and my birthday and Halloween, definitely my favorite time of year. Yeah, I'd have to say it's Halloween. And I'm really not a big Christmas fan, but but I deal with it because my husband is, and it's a lot. It's always too much. But yeah, I prefer Halloween.
Did you celebrate Halloween this year?
This year I did not. This year I worked all day. But normally, yes. Normally I love to do it and decorate, and all the pumpkins and pumpkin carving and all that. Yeah, I love it.
You are from November. Which day of November your birthday?
The 11th, 11/11.
I'm 17th.
Oh, are you really a Scorpio too? Yeah.
Yeah, Scorpio.
Nice. Yeah, right.
We love water, don't we?
Yes, for sure. Absolutely.
And what's, in your opinion, what's the let's say the biggest characteristic of Scorpio, in a positive way, in a negative way?
Ooh, intense. I love my intensity. I love being my emotions are very readily available, and I'm able to communicate them easily, and I love that about myself. But I also tend to be a bit jealous and a little possessive, and those are things that I try to keep a wrangle on, but sometimes they get the best of me. But it's constant work in progress.
You literally described myself just right now.
Yeah, I'm the epitome of a Scorpio. Like the description, and it's just head on for me.
Jealousy,
and like, Scorpio. Yep.
If I could change something about my personality, way it's about being jealous, like possessive, it's so interesting how this character is so strong in us. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
The older you get, of course, you control more, you know how to hide it, you know how to, but it's there. It's still there, like this feeling.
Yep, it really is.
It's difficult to control. It's difficult for you to to get over it. It's something that, yeah, it's a lot of work in progress for sure.
Very interesting thing too, because I feel like astrology, how accurate can it be, and to categorize all, so many humans into these. But I'm head on with the definition of a Scorpio for sure. So however it works, something about it.
A few years ago, a lovely friend, she's an astrologer, and she told me once, a few years ago, she said, William, Scorpio, they did like in history, they did like a research, the most, let's say in history, like the most like very dangerous people, like murders, people, they did something really bad, like, overall, like in the world, they were Scorpio. Right. At the same time as well, the other side, like the most wisdom people, like those people that they left their signature in the world for some reason, they helped the world or the humanity some reason, they were Scorpio as well. So she said, wow. Scorpio, yeah, she said Scorpio can go like both direction, like, and understand we have this intensity of the prohibited thing as well, to kind of explore, or to, you are very, let's say, not explore, but we are very curious about, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yes, so she was explained that to me, and I never forgot that about those research that they did, like, and they got this conclusion that there's both sides. I loved it. I was like, that's interesting.
That's very interesting. That is very interesting. I ran across this book just the other day on Amazon, and it was about Scorpios and how the duality of their personalities are very intense. And I actually meant to buy it, but I didn't. Now that I heard you talking about this, I'm going to go back and get that. Very interesting.
Yes, and I had as well astrologer on the show from Brazil, like last month, and he said something. He said, William, when the astrologers, they start studying the star signs, the astrology, when they get to Scorpio, all of them, they feel in love with Scorpio, because it's so intense. They go deep, you know what I mean? It's very, like, we are very sensitive as well. We feel things very easily. Right. He said, William, when you get to Scorpio, all the astrologers, they say, my God, it's so nice to study the Scorpio, because there are so many things there hidden that they don't, it's very interesting to explore. He told me that. I was like so fascinated.
Yeah, it is very fascinating. Very fascinating.
Next question. Let's do it.
Sure.
Hey, Chris, next question is, when have you been the most happy?
The most happy? Well, like I said earlier, I was just married. My husband and I married each other Valentine's Day last year, and that was the happiest day of my life for sure. It was amazing. So I think that whole day and the preparing for it and the actual ceremony was definitely the happiest of my life. Yeah.
When you guys met for the first time, who do you think who fell in love first between both of you?
Funny. I never believed. I hear people talk about love at first sight, and I never really gave it much thought. But my husband and I we met through a mutual friend of ours who introduced us. And the first time I saw him, he was just coming home from work, and he was tired and greasy, and he had mismatched socks on. But he was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And I thought in that moment, oh my God, I love this man. I've never even met him, and I love him. And it was just the craziest thought. But sure enough, I kind of knew that he would end up being in my life, and that he was an important person. I could tell right away. And it was almost like, what you would call love at first sight. And never thought that could ever happen, but it happened to me. And yeah, that was super cool. So I love telling the story about how that happened. So, yeah.
As I can see your eyes shining talking about him, what's the biggest similarity between both of you and the biggest difference?
Biggest similarity between, oh man, we are both, he's a Pisces, and so he's also a water sign, and we're both very emotional, and we're both very emotional. And so sometimes, most of the time it works out good for us, but sometimes it doesn't. But, and the biggest difference is we just had a big, huge yard sale this weekend trying to get rid of stuff. My husband loves stuff, and he's a pack rat, and I wouldn't call myself a minimalist, but I very easily let go of objects, and tangible things. Like, and I'm about relationships and experiences. So yeah, that would be our biggest difference, I would say. And sometimes it makes us butt heads, but you know, again, work in progress, trying to make everything run smoothly.
That's
So a compromise.
That's relationship, a maintenance. Every single day there is a maintenance to be looked at it, to be fixed or to be improved. That's the beauty of relationship. Not easy, but
no,
it's great. It's great when you spend
worth it. Yeah,
absolutely.
It is everyday work. You know, it's like, it's never on autopilot for a day. There's never a day where I don't have to think about it. It is everyday work, and I'm okay with that. I love it.
Totally. I think if there are no challenges, or you know, this work in progress, that's when the flame kind of, you know, slow down.
Right.
And
I totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Ready for another one?
Sure.
Let's do it. Okay, Chris, next question is tough question now. If someone gave you an envelope with your death date inside of it, would you open it or not, and why?
Oh man, you know, being a Scorpio, I likely would open it and probably try to contest it or change it. But yeah, I think I would, because I want to make the most, you know. Although I really don't want to know, but if I had the information readily available, I probably would. Yes.
What's your understanding or your, let's say, take on death? Is something that bothers you, or something that you're scared of, or you don't think about it?
You know, I never have. I've not had to deal with, you know, losing family members or loved ones too much in my life, but it's happened. And but death has never been anything that's too scary to me. It's always been something I've really embraced, you know, and you know, I work in the medical field, and when I was young, when I was a kid, I thought that, you know, that I wanted to like maybe be in the funeral services, you know, and I was always fascinated by death. So it's never really been scary to me. It's something I feel like it's a healthy thing to be okay with, you know, and being afraid of something, especially something inevitable like death, is not it can't be healthy, you know? So, yeah, I've never really had to try too hard to embrace it, but yeah, I feel like it's something that I'm somewhat comfortable with, and I'm not a religious person. I'm definitely a spiritual person, but yeah, I think I'm really okay with it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Next one. Look at you getting relaxed.
Open up my chest a little bit.
Before the next question, Chris, tell me, through your career, tell me one of your, like, let's say, patients that you had, that you helped them somehow, that you're always going to remember, something that you go like, okay, I'm so proud of my career that, you know, I helped this person somehow, or a good feedback, something that you could share.
You know, I had, before I became a PT, I was a PTA, a physical therapy assistant, and I had a client or a patient when I was still in school, and I was a physical therapy assistant, and then he stayed with me as I, you know, graduated college and got my PT license, and I'll leave his name out of it because of, you know, our HIPAA privacy laws here, but he was a screenwriter in Hollywood, like old Hollywood. He was definitely a lot older than I was, and you know, he had written really classic, iconic movies in the 30s and 40s Hollywood, and he was a very, very cool guy. By the time I met him, he was already, you know, elderly. He was, you know, up there and having issues, mobility issues, and I would see him a few times a week, which is a lot, you know, for a patient to come in, you know, that often. But you know, it helped him live his life and do his normal daily activities, you know, pain-free, and I loved that. But we developed this relationship that was really, really intense. You see somebody 3 days a week, and, you know, you spend so much time with them and you get to know them. And he just recently passed away about a year ago, which was really a big loss. And I miss him every day. But yeah, he really helped me, and he really helped me figure out in my young days of being a PT, like who who I wanted to be and what my specific talents were and how I could apply them to my job. And he was very instrumental in me being successful in what I do. And I feel like I was also very instrumental in helping him continue to do what he wanted to do every day, because he was very active and, 73 and running a marathon, and
Wow.
he was just an amazing, inspiring guy. And I've always looked up to him, and I still do.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Next question for you is, what's your idea of a perfect friendship?
My idea of a perfect friendship. I think it's different, obviously, for everybody and for your stage in life and which changes constantly. But I feel like I have a best friend, and she's amazing, and she lives in San Diego, and we talk all the time. And she just recently was there for me when I was going through some tough times. And I knew that I could call her any time of day. I knew that if I ever needed anything, that she was there, even if we didn't talk for, a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. She was always there, and we picked up right where we left off. And I feel like having that security is important in a friendship. I think that at my point in life right now, where I'm at, knowing that somebody's there without any judgments is important. Even just one person that you have, I think it's important.
I think friendship, it's a safe place to be.
Yeah.
It's so safe. You feel so safe around a great friend, a true friend. You can be yourself. You just speak out whatever you want to say, and the person, as you said, not gonna judge you. They're gonna listen to you. They're gonna tell you off. They need to. They're gonna agree
Right.
if they need to. And that's what a friendship, a true friendship. And you don't go out there saying, "Oh, you're gonna be my best friend. You're gonna be." It doesn't work like that.
Right.
When the connection is there, that's it. Even though sometimes you can crash like badly, but it's gonna come back somehow. That's the true friendship, I believe, as well.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. Yes. Yeah, it's important to know that I have that. Very comforting, especially in such a chaotic world, and life can get crazy sometimes. So she's definitely a rock, for me, solid, and I appreciate her for that.
She's gonna be smiling now, watch the interview and knowing that.
She'd better. She's damn lucky, because I'm a good friend to her too.
Next question. Chris, before the next one, tell me, how was growing up as a gay boy? Did you have the support of your family?
I really didn't have too many struggles with that coming up as a kid. I think a lot of it had to do with being raised in LA, very progressive place. And my parents were also pretty progressive people. And then, they were very accepting. I came out to my parents when I was maybe 15, and they already knew, and they said that, and it was really not a big deal at all. And I've never had any negative experiences, homophobia or dealing with anything like that, which is a wonderful thing. And there are so many of my friends who have dealt with terrible things, losing their family, hate coming from different, people. And I feel very fortunate to not have ever had to really head-on deal with that. So it's been fairly easy, yeah, for me.
Walk me through the day when you came out. Did something happen, or you just felt like, okay, I'm just gonna be my true self and open up about my sexuality?
It was actually my mom's idea to do it officially. So we went out to a restaurant and sat my parents down, and they already knew, and it was just, she just thought that it would be good if we put it out officially on the table. So there was a date, and I thought it was kind of strange, but it was cute. I'm glad she was supportive. So it was really her idea.
Oh, sweet. Okay, next question for you is, what was the last thing that made you smile?
The last thing that made me smile. My husband and I have some inside jokes with each other, and sometimes when we're around other people, we don't realize that we're talking about them, and the other people have no idea what we're going on about. And it just happened with my roommate right before I got on this call with you, and I love that we're so close that we have that, we can just look at each other and know, send messages with a smile, and yeah, I love that. That was the last thing that made me smile.
Nice one. Next question, Chris. Let's do it. All right. Next question is, which question would you like to be asked?
Which question would I like to be asked? So I love being asked if somebody were to do a movie of your life, who would you want as the lead role? And I'd want to say something like Chris Pratt, you know, because he's gorgeous and buff, and I'd love to portray myself like that, but I don't think it would be Chris Pratt. But yeah, I love being asked that question.
Let's see. Tell me, live in LA, do you think that I had a few artists on the show, like actors, singers, you know, dancers, and do you think, in your opinion, that LA is the biggest spot, like for you to start a career in you know, in music or acting? Do you think LA always been the place, like more than New York City?
Oh, sure. I think more recently, you know, in the past 10, 20 years, that New York has become, you know, a place for that as well. But I think, yeah, absolutely. LA was, you know, where that started and where that culture originated. And that culture is very center to what LA is, you know, and yeah, I do. And I think it always likely will be, you know, but there's also, you know, like Palm Springs is huge in the culture, you know, the Hollywood culture, and so is San Diego, and you know, they're right outside of LA. So it's really Southern California, I feel like.
Actually,
you know.
tonight on the show, it's gonna go live. A lovely interview with someone from a lovely guy from Palm Springs.
Oh
Tonight.
wow, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's from Indiana, but he's been living in Palm Springs for quite a while. But saying that, Chris, what's the most challenging part of LA, in your opinion, living there?
Oh gosh, hands down is the traffic. You know, it's very, very challenging. It tests my nerves. You know, I have to always find creative ways to get to work and not you know, use a main thoroughfare. Definitely stressful. Sometimes it gets a little crowded too, and it's a little packed, a lot of people, and the cost of living is a little annoying right now. But yeah, I'd have to say the traffic is the biggest one. But we, you know, we manage.
Living in LA, do you think it's a must to have a car, or it's the traffic, like the public transport can be very good as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially nowadays, you know, and LA also has a great subway system, you know, that kind of spans out from downtown. And now that downtown is somewhere where people live and it's not just businesses, it is very effective. It used to be that way, maybe, you know, in the 80s, 90s for sure, you know, you needed a car to get around, but now that's absolutely not the truth anymore. So, you know, I typical LA and drive everywhere, but yeah, I would like to think that hopefully in the future I'll, you know, utilize my bike more often or some public transportation, but it hasn't happened yet.
3 questions left for you. Let's do it. But before the next one, as I work as a massage therapist, yeah, I'm sure you deal with a lot of energies, yeah? Like,
oh yeah.
Sure, you get a lot of energy from your clients, you know, it's like sharing energy. And of course, sometimes, you know, most of the time, the people, they go there to have a session, to relax, to, you know, to put it out that energy that maybe is not good for themselves. For you, there is a mechanism that you use for you not to take this energy to your personal life. There's something that you do, and how do you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's like, it's meditation, and it's, I want to say it's almost like a shield, but it's really not. It's more of a system of processing things, you know, and I can, instead of avoid or deflect things, I like to, you know, meet them head on and process them, you know, and feel them and kind of be present with them. And I think that having a mindfulness, you know, based attitude with that is super helpful. Because I do meet all kinds of different people and many different people a day, and they're in different moods and different things and agendas, and it can be a lot. It's overwhelming for sure.
Absolutely. And for you, physically, for you, how many massage can you do let's say per day, more or less?
Oh gosh, I think the most I've ever done has been like 6, which is way too much. On average, maybe 3, and that's plenty. You know, it's physically plenty.
All right. Tell us a funny story or a moment that happened to you when you were a child at school.
A child at school. Oh gosh, let's see. A funny moment. I remember I got I was in 3rd. I went to Catholic school, and so when I was in primary school, elementary school, the boys and the girls were always separate. You know, we went to separate classrooms, and we were able to eat lunch and play together, but it was always separate classrooms. And when I was in third grade, I was playing handball with the girl that I'd known forever. And I was a great student. I had good grades. You know, I followed the rules. I never a problem. But we were playing handball, and somehow the ball got away from my hand, and this girl that I was playing with got under my hand, and I accidentally hit her in the head. And she knew it was an accident, and I knew it was an accident. But you know, a teacher there saw it, and she gave me my one and only detention that I've ever had, and I was mortified. And yeah, and so the girl that actually got hit on accident had no issue with it, but you know, some staff member, I don't remember who it was, had seen it and thought, oh my God, he just hit her. And so yeah, I got one detention in my whole school career, you know, for accidentally hitting a girl in the head. And I was so embarrassed. And still, my mom talks about it, and I get embarrassed to this day.
Did you like school?
You know, I did. Yeah, it was always fairly. Well, I didn't struggle too much, so it was always challenging, but I didn't struggle. I liked it. Yeah, I did.
2 questions left. Let's do it. All right. Next question is: what was your worst wardrobe mistake?
Oh man. You know, like I said, I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, but you know, I had to wear a uniform to school when I was younger, but on the weekends, you know, it was whatever I wanted, and my parents were pretty progressive, and they let me dress how I wanted to, and there was a a really sad time for fashion where the MC Hammer pants, you know, with the elastic around the ankles and the big bright colors were in, and hypercolor t-shirts and big high tops with huge tongues. And I was very trendy, and I did all of it. And looking back at those pictures, it was so not a good time for fashion at all. But yeah, so it was not just a single incident, but rather a whole, you know, pop culture movement for me. Yeah.
Like almost the whole decades of dressing.
Yes, for sure. Yes, for sure.
Ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Last question. But before the last question, people watching the interview right now, would you like to start a career as a physical therapist? Yeah. What would be your physical therapist? What would be your best piece of advice?
Oh, wow. So getting good grades is important, you know, and I would say make sure that this is something that you want to do, because, you know, it's really hard to change careers later on in life. And if you're stuck in something that doesn't make you happy, then you're going to wake up and go to work every day. But, you know, my dad used to tell me, if you love what you do, then you won't work a day in your life. And that's very true. So make sure that you wake up every day and you love what you do. It would have to be my biggest piece of advice. But yeah, good grades are also important.
All right. Last question for you is, if you were in a circus, which character would you like to be and why?
Oh gosh, I always envied those gorgeous guys with the long, lean bodies that were acrobats and flying through the air. And, you know, they had big chests and so flexible. And yeah, I would definitely want to be one of those acrobats for sure. For sure. They're
always very, very fit.
Yes. Yes, they were. I love that.
Right, not the end yet, Chris. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay? So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Family.
Italians.
Okay. One word for money.
What comes to mind for me is the first word I think of is luxury. Luxury, okay. Like
love.
Love. Husband is the first word that comes to my mind.
Life.
Oh gosh. Watching that TV show Melrose Place is what popped into my head when I was young. Yeah.
How about sex?
Oh wow. Men with big chests. The image just popped right into my head. How about firemen? That's another one.
How about politics?
Politics. Oh gosh. Not at the dinner table.
Good one. Very good. Religion.
Also not at the dinner table.
I knew you would say that for some reason. I had a feeling that you'd say that. How about fear?
Fear. Oh God, I love that show Fear Factor with Joe Rogan. You know, I used to watch that all the time.
How about desire?
Desire. Cherries. For some reason, cherries are the first thing that comes to mind when I get desire. Interesting.
Friendship.
Friendship. Friendship. I think of my dog, actually, my husky, when I hear that word. It's the first thing that pops into my mind.
Regrets.
Oh gosh. I think of there's a commercial here where this girl's eating a Milky Way candy bar and getting a tattoo that says no regrets, but the tattoo artist spells it wrong and it says no regrets. That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Success.
What was that?
Success.
Success. Oh, you'll never work a day in your life if you love what you do. That's what I think of when I hear the word success.
Amazing. How about wish?
Wish. I think of that app on iPhone where you can buy all that cheap stuff from China. The Wish app. That's what wish makes me think of.
Happiness.
Happiness. Oh gosh. That was the first thing that comes to mind. Happiness. My bed. My soft, comfortable, king-size bed. Happiness. That's what it is.
LA. One word.
Oh wow. Sunset. Not Sunset Boulevard, but rather an actual sunset. The most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen in my life, anywhere.
USA.
USA. First thing that comes to mind is obviously our flag, but pride is the first word that I think of.
And the last one now, massage therapist, one word.
Oh gosh, compassion is the first word that comes to mind. Empathy is another one that's close behind the compassion first, yeah.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely husband for a coffee and I'm going to ask him, tell me the most beautiful thing about your husband. What's something that Chris has the best, what's his best quality, and also something that he needs to improve on? What he would say?
He would tell you that loyalty is probably my biggest good thing that I do. And negative, he would probably talk about jealousy, maybe the possessiveness. I love to be in control also, I won't lie, and I'm accepting that, coming to terms with it. So that's probably what you would hear from him.
Just the fact that you accept and you know it is half of a way of improvement of the journey, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's play now, Chris, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, Chris from LA, you can ask me a question now.
Where did you grow up?
Good question. Right. So I'm originally from Brazil. I grew up in Brazil. I left Brazil when I was 19 years old. I moved to Portugal in Europe, and I lived there for almost 5 years, and now I've been living in England, in London, for the last 17 years now.
Wow.
So I've been away from Brazil. I've been living in Europe more than I actually lived in Brazil. So yes, it's been a beautiful journey, challenge, beautiful experience. And I'm so glad that life, direct me to London, to Portugal. I never thought one day I would live in, either in London or Portugal. And I had this America dream back in Brazil. I think most of Brazilian people, South America, we have this America dream of living in the US, getting a better life. Long story short, it was very hard and impossible for me to get a visa because of my family. They couldn't, support me financially. So I had the opportunity to come. Oh, who is that?
This is my husband, Zeke.
I cannot see him properly. Just go down a little bit. Oh, hello.
We've been talking a lot about you. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, sweet. So yeah, it's been a lovely journey in London, and I found my place here, and I meant to be here. I feel so happy in London.
You feel that? That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, I love it. Have you been in London before, by the way?
I have, yes. I have quite a few times. I love it, and I've actually and I've been to Portugal a couple of times as well. Once, and I loved it also. And me and my husband kind of have this talk between us how we'd love to retire in Portugal, but I think it's a beautiful place. I've never been to Brazil though. I'd love to go.
I see. And when you arrived in London, what was your first memory when you think about London? What's something that goes like, okay, wow, it's amazing?
You know, the first time I was in London, I was like 18. I just barely turned 18, and I was there for a friend's birthday, and we went to the English countryside, you know, like Herefordshire, and I was just stunned at how green and beautiful. You know, I love the city too, but going out of London, you know, it's just incredible. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, did you enjoy the experience? Did you enjoy the interview?
Absolutely, yeah. You're very easy to talk to, and that was nice. Yes.
Thanks so much for taking the time for the interview, and thanks for being kind and sweet as well. But before you go,
my pleasure.
Oh, amazing. Before you go, if you can share a positive message, something that you live by.
Something that I live by. I keep myself going with this saying that it's pretty common, but I feel like it's so true. And I think that like when you are the change that you wish to see in the world, that, you know, you will every day be doing something that you feel makes the world a better place. And that's important. I think that's important for me.
Great. Thanks so much for the interview, Chris.
All right. It was a pleasure meeting you. Have a nice evening.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye. See you next time.